What is Gooby really capable of? We'll have to wait. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like and subscribe for maybe a follow-up when Gooby uploads once again. Hey lads, my name is Bob, and today we're going to learn about Gooby. And before we get to that, let's just get some things clear. Just to get back on track, let's go over some things we know about Gooby. He's a non-physical being that abducts children via TV show the moment he does a new video comes out on his channel. He's using a person as some sort of vessel and trying to use the kids to be reborn as a new being. Kids have also tried fighting against Gooby, but that has only gone bad for them. Now that's just a really quick sum up of what we have. I'll be mentioning it more throughout this video, so stick here with me. And if you want a more in-depth look to get a full understanding, check out my previous video on Gooby. But without further ado, let's actually get to it. Up until now, we've had 5 kids kidnapped and 7 videos released. Recently, the 8th and 9th video have been uploaded, so let's go over that first, then we'll check out if we can piece anything else together. So video 8 starts pretty normally, you know, scuffed-ish audio and a normal greeting. And this time, we're going to be learning about Gooby then continues to give us a very life traumatizing scene as we're introduced to, let's call him Socks. Gooby then starts off his lecture with telling us an animal or object which Socks imitates the sound of with his green or purple sock. He does so for a bird, card, and the absolute unit of a piano. He also imitates a dog, an airplane, and a... We also learned that Gooby loves sounds.
I love sound.
And of course, with that, we also learn his favorite sound.
You want to hear my favorite sound?
And knowing Gooby, I'm assuming you all caught the traditional missing children image showing, which, adding to the count, will be Joshua Leonard, adding up to a total of 6 kidnapped children up until now. And like always, he got kidnapped the day before the release of the 6th video on Gooby's channel, and he was predicted to be the next missing kid in the previous Gooby video. With that, we also get the addition of 2 encrypted messages which read, Joshua wanted to know more than he should, and see where that got him. With that, the video again ends with the Muncher, a fable, but this time the fable is played for a short amount of time. Now that covers video 8, this one was a bit shorter, but we still have video 9 to check out, so let's actually get to work. So now we're heading on to video 9, and this time around the intro itself is, well, around. At 4 seconds, we get a date, which leads us to the first ever colored TV broadcast, and the subtitles this time are replacing Gooby's introduction with the chat between Michaela and Sophia. We also receive a flash, which reveals an image of the 1951 chess machine conference. Now, as we get the first sight of Gooby and Socks, new member appears, who appears as a big, pink, and happy... I can't really describe what that's supposed to be. Ignoring that, the subtitles start naming mostly food, body parts, and sentences which I would assume to be aimed towards us. And with that happening, we're also introduced to the 4th member, Greg. And just for context, I'm giving these guys completely random names, just for reference. The entire screen turns black with a hint of Gooby's video in the background, and the video starts glitching out as it switches from a glitchy TV, the Gooby Gang, and some new content. That includes quotes, images, audios, and much more, so let's actually go over it. Now, in Gooby fashion, we get Tina Nelson, the 7th kidnapped child, who was kidnapped on a date that doesn't relate to any of his videos surprisingly. We also get some inverted images of Gooby and The new quotes that read, "It is strange how vividly he appears in my dreams. He dances through the darkness, his form shifting and morphing with each passing moment. Sometimes he's playful, bounding through fields of wildflowers with a carefree abandon. Other times he's full of hatred, his eyes burning with a malevolent fury that seems to consume the very essence of my being. But now, as I search for him amidst the tangled labyrinth of my thoughts, I find only emptiness. It's as if he has outgrown the confines of my imagination, venturing forth into the vast unknown, never once looking back." And besides that, we also get many different subtitles which I'll be using later as a reference. The video cuts off to pitch darkness with a TV turning off like transition, with a frame of it being the quote, "We are not the first." We also hear some mumbling at the black screen that follows, but that's about it. With that, we finished all the videos this time around since there is only 2, but let's actually get to seeing what we can work with. Now, just by going over these videos, the major thing to notice is the new members, Socks, Patrick, and Greg. Now for Socks, Gooby himself personally introduces us to him, meanwhile Patrick and Greg just kinda show up. None of the new members have any ability to speak besides Socks, who can imitate sounds. He also responds sometimes with a weird groan-like sound, and most sounds are imitated by his 2 socks he has on his hands. And he himself actually makes the sound of an Amber Alert, aka a child abduction emergency alert. Now, the first thing that came to my mind is that Socks is a child kidnapped by Gooby. Which kid Socks could be is when I got reminded of Sophia Anthony since she was wearing a blue t-shirt before abducted, but I'll go off of the messages we are left with when the video glitches out, which are, Joshua wanted to know more than he should, and see where that got him. At the very end, we also get a second of the very common The Muncher, a Fable clip. This time around though, the clip doesn't reach a point where the tooth declines the snack. Now for the rest of the new cast, the only clues I can get for Patrick and Greg is that they could be Andrew and Michaela. We have leads such as Joshua, Andrew, and Michaela being the only 3 children highlighted with the Munchers, a Fable, and that this could also work as a sort of punishment for them disobeying Gooby. Now, the white mark subtitles also read, "He's back. What things have you all learned today? We learned about animals and shapes and sounds and colors and letters and... Did you learn to speak when spoken to?" That is the subtitle which appears after our 2 new members are introduced. And the only 2 kids who went against Gooby or spoke when they weren't spoken to were Michaela and Andrew. Now, video 9 in its entirety also has a lot more to offer, and no, I'm not just talking about the intro being turned around. Now, at the very first few seconds, a TV-like flash shows us a date, June 25th, 1951, a date that leads to the first ever colored TV broadcast. Now, throughout the video, we also get many flashing images of a TV. We also receive leads like laugh tracks and TV flashes that leads me to believe Gooby has a strong connection to the past. Connecting that to an image from the previous video, which was like a hosted TV show, but you can see a man with a Gooby mask. And besides that, we also get an image of 2 men by the chess machine at the 1951 conference. Now see that year, it's starting to repeat a bit, don't you think? It seems that 1951 has somewhat of a strong pull for Gooby. Now, the subtitles also name parts of the human body, and it all takes a worse turn when teeth are mentioned. Even some previous videos seem to highlight teeth a lot, which seems to be quite a major thing for Gooby. Now, I'll personally wait a bit more until I delve into any theory when it comes to it, since I'm not completely sure what it could mean besides teeth representing power, but if you want more on that, check out Film Theory's video on the subject, I'll leave it down in the description. And no, under any circumstance, I will not be theorizing about Gooby being the Tooth Fairy. Now, the same subtitles that represented Gooby also talk about food and how it's necessary even for him. That continues into the video, switching between scenes of Gooby and his friends, TV static, subtitles which represent Gooby luring the viewer in by saying things like, "Listen to my voice, little one," and "You can trust me, child." And if we continue the trend of Gooby's vessel, more quotes are given that confirm Gooby trying to find a way to escape from this form of imagination into our reality. Right before cutting it all off, we are also shown to Tina Nelson, a new kid who was kidnapped on the 27th of February 2024. And right as the screen transitions to complete darkness, we also receive a message reading, "We are not the first." The message "We are not the first" actually got me thinking. First, it couldn't be Gooby saying that unless he works like a hive mind, otherwise it wouldn't make much sense. But the kids on the other hand, saying that they're not the first connects many things. The kid saying this means that Gooby already did something like this once, things like kidnapping kids, and when he kidnapped the current bunch of kids we're familiar with, they probably learned of the truth, but all they can do is give us hints. But when did this already happen? Remember the repeated date of 1951? The little theory about Gooby being a TV show host back then would actually start to make sense. I'll say this from a very broad side of things, that Gooby used to be a TV show host. A children's TV show host to be exact. He did the show in front of a live audience of children just as shown in this very image. He then kidnapped Terlord kids each time he did a show. The kids were then taken to rooms we've already seen. They could have been taken to the places that have been shown in the previous videos where we see a random alley or room. After they were taken there, he tried using them as sacrifices or vessels for some sort of ritual to turn them into something beyond human understanding. But before he could complete it, he got caught and killed on the spot. His dead corpse activated the ritual, but it only worked on him, and the non-physical Gooby then became what he is now. And since one body wasn't enough to complete the ritual, the curse, also known as today's Gooby, took over this man's body and soul, using him as a vessel, and is now trying to evolve or be reborn as a new entity with the exact same method the man wanted to use back in 1951. Now, this is a theory in work, and new Gooby videos could completely turn it around, but for what we have, I think I'll be sticking with it for now. Of course, that gives us an answer as to Gooby's goal and past. For a completely direct answer as to what he is aiming to become or achieve, we'll still need to wait. I'm still not sure about the teeth and why Tina's date isn't related to any of Gooby's videos, but I guess time will tell, and with that, my time has run out, and with the remaining few seconds, I wish you a great, and I mean great, rest of your day.